I'm Professor Reboot, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to create your paper for the American Psychological Association, or APA, 7th edition style. Now, when we are creating a cited paper, it is extremely important that we follow the structure guidelines in the citation style guide we are using. Often your professor or your college will assign you a citation style for you based on the type of course you are taking. APA is typically used in social sciences like sociology or psychology, but typically speaking, APA will be used for classes that emphasize the timeliness of your research, often reserved for the MLA 9th citation style, like humanities or literature analyses, or courses like philosophy. So APA is currently in its 7th edition. One of the distinct things about APA 7th that you need to know is that unlike MLA 9th, you do not put your information on the first page of your paper. In fact, you have a separate title page. Now, structuring your paper exactly in the formatting style that is assigned to you signals to your reader what citation style you will be using so that they know how to follow your citation style through to copy, mimic, or follow your research for themselves. You see, the purpose of all academic writing is to build on research. So we write in an academic style so that people who read papers after us are able to follow along with our own research, validate it, corroborate it, find that research for themselves, and perhaps expand on it themselves with their own research techniques. So it is important that we use citation styles accurately. Now in APA 7th, they did a departure from APA 6th. In APA 6th, student papers no longer require you to have a running head. However, you do need to have page numbers. So we will begin by inserting a page number. Insert page number, upper right. Fortunately, we do not need to add anything else after that, so I'm just going to click into the body of the paper, and every page of my paper will now have a number in it. Now, formerly, a running head was like a synopsis of the title or the content of the paper. APA 7th does not require students to do that any longer. It is also important to note that there is a difference between a student APA 7th paper and a professional APA 7th paper. This video is focusing on the student version of APA 7th citation style. If you are planning to publish an APA paper in a peer-reviewed journal, then you would want to consult an APA 7th professional style guide. Now let's get started in setting up our APA title page. Here we are in Microsoft Word. The first thing that we always want to do is set our spacing. All citation styles that I'm aware of, or at least those that are used in academic settings, require you to double space absolutely everything. And you have no additional spacing before or after paragraphs. So we can go ahead and drop the spacing before and after to 0 and set the line spacing for the entire paper to double. That is true even for the title page. Now, the first thing that we will do on the title page is actually give it a title. My recommendation is that you give titles to your paper after you have completed writing it. After you've written the paper, you will have a better idea of what the paper is truly about and what it is expressing, and that should give you some creative ideas for a title. For now, let's come up with a title that we can use just for the working document. Now, in APA 7th, the title page does have you use capitalization or title case for your title. However, you will find when you get to in-text citations and bibliographical citations in APA 7th that that's not necessarily how you will refer to the titles of the works you reference. You will find that in future videos, both on in-text citation and on the bibliography referred to as your reference page in APA. For now, let's continue with our title page. Now, after your title, which should be centered, by the way, so we're going to go ahead and justify that centered. And then the rest of the title page is also centered. Next comes your name. So we're going to call you Jamie Student. First name Jamie, last name Student. Next comes the department for which you are writing this paper and the name of the institution in which you are writing it. So we will say social sciences because, again, APA is typically used for social sciences, colon, and then the first letter that appears after a colon is always capitalized, whether it is a proper noun or not. In this case, it does happen to be a proper noun. You would then provide the name of your university or college. Next comes the course itself. Next, you need to provide the name of your instructor. And finally, you provide the date that you wrote, researched, or printed the paper, meaning the date that you turned the paper in. Any of those dates will do. However, the date does need to reflect the most recent edition of your paper. Notice how I place the date in what we call the European style. Day first, then month, comma, then year. Now, all of this needs to be centered on the page vertically as well as horizontally. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit enter a few times until it's centered. I am allowed to bold the title, however, I am not allowed to change its size. And I also would like to point out that this is using a sans serif font in a professional font style. That means no Comic Sans Serif, no papyrus. You are allowed to use Times New Roman, which would be considered professional, although that is a serif font. And a sans serif font is what you see here, which is Aptos. You can also use Arial or Calibri. The key is that you do need to use a professional style. Now, this is the title page of your APA paper. APA papers always have a title page. Before you begin your paper, you would hit Insert, Page Break, and then you would change the layout to left spacing now, because at this point, your paper needs to be treated like a normal paper. Indent the first paragraph. This is the first paragraph. A hook with the thesis at the end. And for more information on creating a thesis and thesis map, you can watch my thesis and thesis map video on my channel. And then once you're finished writing your paper, let's say this carries on for several pages, you would then need to do another page break for your bibliographical page. Now, in the body of your paper in any citation style, you will have in-text citations that refer to reference points in your paper as you come to them. And you are required to reference any claim you make, no matter what the claim and no matter where it's from. APA is particularly rigid about how you cite your in-text citations. Your in-text citations need to match or align with the first part of your reference citation. That will be occurring in another video. For now, we are just setting up the structure of our paper. Now, even on our references page, which is what APA calls bibliography, we still need that double spacing. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the first part of a citation just so you can see what it looks like. And I am going to center the title of this page because references is centered. Notice how the page number does appear on the top of every page. And voila, you have your APA paper. Now let's repeat this in Google Drive. So this was in Microsoft Word OneDrive, which is very similar to Microsoft for your computer, your hardware. Google Drive, however, is a free version. Of course, don't forget to save your document. But in Google Drive, let's go ahead and give the paper a title so that we remember it later. And then we're going to follow the same processes we followed before. Insert, page number, header, start page 1, show on first page, apply. And it's already happening in the upper right hand corner. That's great. I don't have to make any changes there. I do want to make sure that my spacing is, of course, double. So I will check line and paragraph spacing. It is preset to 1.15, so I'm going to need to change that to double. And again, we'll put our paper title using title case, the name of the student, the name of the department and institution, the name of the course, the name of your instructor, and the date that you wrote the paper. Just as before, we center the entire justified title page and we center it vertically as well. Next, because my paper itself cannot start until the following page, I'm going to insert a break, and it is a page break. I'm going to re-justify left, tab to indent my first paragraph. This is my first paragraph of actual writing. Again, for information on how to write your hook and your thesis and thesis map, please watch my video on how to write a thesis and thesis map. After this, of course, you would insert another break after completing your paper, and you would set up your references page. And the first part of an APA reference is the date. So last name, comma, first initial of the author. APA also uses ampersands instead of ands, and it also emphasizes the date of publication because unlike MLA, again, APA focuses on the timeliness of your research. So this is a full explanation of how you would set up your paper in APA style. Let me just center that references page. In future videos, please watch for how you will set up your in-text citations and your reference page. Thank you.